Alright, so we know that the first American explorer/archaeologist that searched the Grand Canyon was John Wesley Powell. He partnered with a native, Jacob Vernon Hamlin, who served in the place of his late partner for the expedition. Powell worked as an explorer/archaeologist for the U.S. Department of Interior and was the director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institute. In 1869, Powell traveled down the Green River to explore the Grand Canyon and was the first person to report any archaeological finds to the U.S. government about the natives that inhabit the Grand Canyon and their history. We've heard about Isis Temple in the Grand Canyon as well. The sky over this area is a restricted airspace. The area surrounding this pyramid and cave on the ground is illegal and treacherous to navigate, and all official reports about this from the Smithsonian and everywhere else has been censored, modified, nullified, or retracted. This still did not stop people from attempting to visit many parts of the Grand Canyon. Many people have been arrested, and some people have perished during the climbs of these scarce and sacred sites over many years. There also are talks of a mysterious cave named Kincaid Cave in the Grand Canyon. Kincaid Cave was named after G.E. Kincaid, who was the first to enter the cave. After retiring from the Marines, G.E. Kincaid worked for S.A. Jordan as an archaeologist. S.A. Jordan was sent to the Grand Canyon by the Smithsonian Institute to investigate information reported by John Wesley Powell. The tunnel is presently on a cliff wall 400 feet above the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon. Archaeologists estimate that the man-made cavern is around 3,000 years old. This cavern is over 500 feet long and has several cross tunnels to large chambers. This was the lowest level and last Egyptian tunnel city that was built in the Grand Canyon. Since the time that it was constructed, archaeologists estimate that the Colorado River has eroded 300 feet lower. There were many Egyptian relics that were discovered in Kincaid's cave, one of which was a pure gold artifact for the Egyptian king named Khayan. This relic is holding a lotus flower in both hands, which is said to be native to Egypt. This was found in the first cross tunnel of the cave, which was in the exact same location as the shrines in the Valley of the King's Tunnel. Before the kings of ancient Egypt began building pyramids and above-ground cities, it was found that Khayan was a descendant of King Zapnath in Egypt, who is said to have been Joseph in the Bible. There was an Egyptian gold tablet that was discovered in the depths of these tunnels as well. This tablet serves as a history book. It includes names that begin with King Zapnath coming to Aztlan and the information about his descendant King Khayan coming to the Grand Canyon. These pure gold artifacts from Kincaid's cave and these Egyptian urns from Powell's cave and these pictures are some of the only historical artifacts from the Grand Canyon on display at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Now, where did the rest of them go? At least some of them were obviously photographed and documented, but who knows what wasn't. Here are some words directly from a book published by Powell himself, the one who founded Powell's cave. And he says, I quote, "In this canyon, great numbers of man-made caves are hollowed out. I first walked down a gorge to the left of a cliff and climbed to a bench of the cliff. There was a trail on the cliff's bench that was deeply worn into the rock formation. Where the trail crossed some gulches, some steps had been cut out. I could see no evidence that the trail had been traveled in a long time. I returned to our camp about 3 p.m., and the men had found more Egyptian hieroglyphs on the cliff's wall near the cave. We explored the cave and found this shrine and other artifacts. That evening, I sent a team member to notify the Smithsonian Institute of our discovery. We continued to survey the canyon and discovered more Egyptian tunnel cities. I estimate in my report that I think upwards of 50,000 Egyptians had inhabited the Grand Canyon at one time." Here's one of the shrines that Powell and his team found. This shrine was dedicated to King Akhenaten's son, who came into rule, Shinmu, in 1336 BC, and it only lasted 10 years. Here are some hieroglyphs that Powell and his team found. This is a diagram for the Egyptian writing system. When the ancient Egyptians came to the Grand Canyon, it was a school tablet used for teaching Egyptian children to read and write. Now, aside from the ancient artifacts and relics they had found, they also found many mummies and giant statues carved directly from the rock. And did you know that all the monuments in the Grand Canyon are named after Egyptian pharaohs? This famous canyon in Arizona is actually an ancient array of pyramids. This site even aligns with the same stars that the Pyramid of Giza align with in the constellations of Orion and Pleiades. If you want some more information about the Grand Canyon and some of the ancient beliefs of it, you should definitely do your research on the Hopis, the Hopi Indians, and you'll figure out that their culture is rooted with tales of beings coming from inner earth, coming out to advance their civilization and help them move forward as a species, as humanity.